Turn. Scratch the 2, targeted return. And in the 8th race, scratch number 4, pricing exercise. Scratch the 4, pricing exercise, out of race 8. Main track is fast here at the Big A. We'll be returning at 12:20 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 12:50. Coming up next, the Friday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. The Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. America's Day at the Races today, 1 to 5 in FS2. I believe we continue on NYRA YouTube after that to catch the last couple races from Oaklawn, including the Smarty Jones. Cato River figures to be an overwhelming favorite. We'll be on covering.
Where is Cato River? Do we know? Is it?
I don't.
Down in the south?
I don't. But you know, you have this. I don't know if you've heard of this website, Google. Google. I've heard, because I haven't looked, because I don't really understand the whole internet thing, but I've heard it's really very, very useful.
You're an analog. We're
why don't you? Why while I'm discussing NYRA bets, why don't you look up Cato River?
Analog, by the way, from Ocean Swell, we're analog players in the digital world. That's what our problem is.
That's a very. You make a great point. Anyhow, head over to NYRABets.com if you're not a member of NYRA Bets. We will match you to $200 of your initial deposit. Join NYRA Bets. Play through NYRA Bets. Keep the money in the game. I know I say it, and it's important. You know, the game needs to have the money kept in the game to keep moving forward. So head over to NYRA Bets and play through NYRA Bets. Sport racing in New York. Love that video Hennigan's did about racing in New York and talking to different people around the racetrack.
All the people that were employed, how much money and all the jobs that the racing industry brings in. The Cato River that we're going with.
Catdo.
Cato or Cato?
I don't know. Whatever.
Cato River is
I'm
a tributary of the Ouachita River in the state of Arkansas. So appropriately running in Hot Springs today.
Well, there you go.
The river is about 82 miles long.
You know, I'm going to guess that one or both of Lafitte Pinkai will be hosting early. I'll be on with Lafitte, and then Greg will be on late. Greg Wolf, of course. I'm going to guess that one or both of those gentlemen already know that.
Is Lafitte in the house?
Well, I don't know if he's in the house. I texted with him a couple nights ago. I haven't seen him officially, but as you know, I hide in my office. Anyhow, we got 8 to go today. Race number 1, we'll take a look at O Trouble, who figures to be an overwhelming favorite in this field. We'd have a scratch of a horse who would have been an outside, big long shot. We'll take a look at O Trouble. You know, I know O Trouble's had a lot of chances, and you know these are the kind of horses that in general I shy away from. Anthony,
as do I.
He's so much faster than these horses. And I'll be honest with you, I think he actually ran pretty well last time. I don't totally trust him, and I'm sure you don't either. But if he runs either of his last 2 races, he's going to win this race. In fact, 4 of his 5 races make it very unlikely he loses. I'm not sure what you think is going to happen that's going to make this Ray Handle horse, who now he's your boy, Ray. You're all over Ray. You love Ray. I think you picked 2 Ray handlers today.
O Trouble.
Ray may collapse if he sees that.
O Trouble has run 5 races.
I thought you picked the 2.
No, you out of your mind.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought I saw your picks and you picked the 2. I'm sorry.
I haven't gone that crazy yet.
Well, I mean, Mike Beer likes this horse, and you know I respect Mike a great deal.
O Trouble's run 5 races. Every single buyer speed figure is higher than the 2 races Mr. Buckley ran.
He's an omni-fig, as Steve Chris likes to say. The problem is he's only got 1 competition. What do you make of Strafe, the filly against the boys for Chad Brown?
Hi, Chad. Yeah, this is the racing office. Listen.
No, I don't agree at all with that.
You don't agree with that?
No.
Interesting.
No, it's the opposite of that. Actually, it's the opposite. It's a filly. She's a filly against the boys because they couldn't get the filly maiden special to go. And I actually asked somebody this morning.
Okay, but it's still
no,
I'm saying,
the opposite.
do you want
in
to
other
go?
words, he tried to go in filly maiden races and they didn't fill.
Right.
So he said, I've got to run this filly.
Right.
And you know, listen, I talked to Chad yesterday, as a matter of fact. He was texting me, we were texting this morning. I never even thought to ask him about this horse. It's not what I do.
No,
it's none of my business. I don't ask.
So this horse works back on October 6th. There's a 1 5-week gap from October 25th to November 29th. And then she has not missed a beat since. And when I do, and by the way, the racing office is supposed to hustle horses. That's their job.
Yeah, no.
So that was not said disparaging. That was said, those guys and gals down there are hustling their tails off to get these
I don't think anybody
would.
I appreciate it. I don't think anybody would take that as a negative.
Right.
That's what you do.
So, but this is something Chad Brown does not do this very often. He does not run fillies against
You
colts,
could take it as a positive, and it probably is. It's not a negative. The problem is, assuming that O Trouble runs a buyer at least in the mid-70s, which doesn't seem to be unrealistic, the 4 better be able to run. Now, maybe she'll win, and I wouldn't leave her out. I'm surprised you have her 3rd. Why'd you have her 3rd? I thought you'd have her 2nd.
Well, the fact that they're both, the 2 firsts, the other first time those are the 3 ribbons and medals for Mike Trombetta shipping up from the Mid-Atlantic.
Who won the stake at 100 to 1 today.
They're both, they just turned 4. So now these 2 horses haven't even made the made their debuts.
I hear you. I'm surprised. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just a little surprised. We'll see what happens with Strafe. A War Front, and obviously, this horse has a ton of pedigree. And just to get onto Strafe, it's after Lewis Bay and Winslow Homer, and Misconnect. So there's significant pedigree on the four
Plenty of
horse.
pedigree. Yeah, I was a big Winslow Homer fan. If that horse would have stayed sound,
If one more person texts me to tell me where Caddo River is, I mean, really, go away, Terrence. Terrence is here, producer extraordinaire. It's nice to see him.
From like Cincinnati?
Yeah. Well, he's from. Yeah, he might be. He's from Ohio, but I'm not sure exactly Cincinnati. Well, he makes a good point that a lot of the John Ed Anthony horses
Of course, yeah.
are
Pine
because
Bluff,
of, right,
yeah,
exactly.
right, of course.
There you go. Little history lesson here. We got it
I
all.
think the
going
mare
on
too,
today.
Pangburn. I think that's something down there too.
I think I remember her.
Yeah.
Tony Trainer.
Say again?
Tony Dutcher didn't train her, did he?
I want to say he did.
Right?
I want to say 2 or 3 people had her
Right.
at some point, but Tony was
I
definitely
feel like
one
Tony
of them.
trained that horse. Yeah.
He had those short leaf horses for a while.
No, he did. I know he did. Yeah. No, I did. I remember.
She was okay.
My friend John Gasper was, I think, working with them a little bit. You know John at all? He used to
Yeah.
be Craig President. Great guy. Really great guy. I don't see him that often.
No.
He was only see him in Saratoga, and I missed him. He's a terrific guy. If you're out there, John, I say hello. Miss seeing him. Race number 2. So we'll start with a replay that involves 3 horses in here, and Creative Style being one of them. I'm going to hope that Ectobar is the controlling speed. I know that the Great Dansky has some speed, but I think Ectobar is going to show more speed than he did last time. I think the one thing you and I agree on in this race, I don't want Creative Style off this wet track win for Danny Gargan. I know Wayne Potts win a lot of races, and I'm not saying he can't win, because obviously he can. But I don't trust this horse. I don't trust the drop down for Danny, and I don't trust the horse to come back, especially a dry track.
So
mile and 1/8 too.
I picked him second, and here's the reason I probably give him a little more. I give him a little bit of a better chance than you do, and I'm going to tell you why.
What?
He's been claimed for the 12.5, and he's running for a quarter today, right? But Ectobar was claimed out of the race.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Lucky Ramsey was claimed out of the race, and he was claimed out of the race. So now half the field is 12.5
Three
bumping up.
theoretical contenders.
3 theoretical contenders, right? The Great Dansky is sprinter stretching out. And then you have Air Attack and you have Super Dude.
I'm surprised you don't like Air Attack.
Well, you know what? You're starting to drill some sense into this old noggin here. These out-of-town horses, the form just doesn't hold up. And I mean, his races here are okay.
The last 2 are okay.
Yeah, I mean, but
He didn't run great last
okay.
time, but he ran okay.
They're okay. They're okay.
Well, my problem is that I don't trust anybody in here. And we'll take a look at Super Dude beating Creative Style, and I know you like Super Dude. I didn't like this horse's last race, Anth.
I didn't love his last race either, but let me ask you this. All right, American Lincoln and American Rule happened to like this racetrack that day, but
No, well, American Rule's been running
American
Buyer figures in the 80s. I don't know what you're playing in the
family.
racetrack.
What would you want on Family Biz in here?
I don't know. I thought this horse was terrible last time. The pace held together, and he just backed up. I don't like his recent. I don't like that race, and I don't know.
I think he gets a target. I think he's a little bit better. I know he won on the lead 2 back, but I think he's a little bit better from off the pace. He's going to be off the pace today.
Okay. I don't like. Listen, I think Creative Style is the horse to beat. I don't like this horse at all.
Okay.
I think Creative Style. Aren't you a little concerned? Creative Style, 9 furlongs, 2 turns. He's got an okay races, but I wonder if he's a little better at a mile. I think that Ectobar can be.
No, I don't disagree with that.
Dominate
But
this
the
field.
one race was on a super sloppy track last New Year's Eve, and the other race was at Saratoga behind Musical Heart.
Yeah, but he got an 81 buyer. I know. I'm not sure he's a little better at a mile. I'm going to play multis and use the 1 and 3 here
I just
and
worry
just try
about
to get them
I just
home.
worry about Ectobar not being able to get the lead over the Great Dansky, and then, in all honesty, his day's over.
He didn't. I don't know if his day's over if he can't get the lead. I'm hoping he can stalk. I don't think he stalked before.
I mean,
frankly, he couldn't even get near the lead last time. He actually didn't run that badly.
Yeah.
Now he's in Rob Atris's barn.
Maybe.
I'm going to trust in Rob to
Okay.
get this horse to run. I'm not in love with him. I'm more against
hard
the
to be in love
5
with
and a little
anybody
bit the
in here.
6.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm more against the 5 and 6 and like the 1 and 3. And I don't like Lucky Ramsey, who I still think is better out of town. Race number 3 kicks off the Empire 6. We have mandatory payout every day in race number 6. We'll take a look at Royal Kaz running at Penn National, 2 back. And I was thinking about how, the conversation where it's talking about what happens at Penn National stays at Penn National. Not for this guy.
This guy's won.
These horses come here and they run. He's a New York bred. I'm going to tell you something. Don't you feel, the last time they tried to go 1.70 miles, don't you feel like if he runs this race, he's supposed to be very tough in here?
When your main competition on paper is Brunate, who we've seen with some of the biggest hang jobs in the history of horse racing.
Right.
And Brunate does have speed figures in New York that are better than Royal Kaz's, or if not on paper. If not equal.
One of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, one, and then, right.
But why don't we show Brunate? What is it, Brunat or Brunate? Brunate?
I don't know. I think Johnny I goes Brunate.
Somebody on Twitter told me I'm supposed to pronounce Nix go Knix.
No, it's incorrect. It's over with.
Is it Cano?
We've all figured it up already. It's been figured out. Korea Racing reached out on Twitter and said
it's Nix go.
It's Nix go. K-Nix. Nix is how they do their pedigrees over there. So K owns the horse. Nix go. But they pronounce it Nix go. Let's please just put an end to that already. I had to deal with Ed DeRosa on the call-in show for an hour last night with K Nix go.
I'm sorry I had to deal with that for a minute. But,
so
you're right. This horse just doesn't win.
I mean, I was driving back from Saturday. I left Prime the day Bank Gala beat him when Prime. That Prime when. The day Pier 40 was the big favorite and was off the layoff and got beat.
The day Pier 40 was the big favorite and got beat. Well, you've just nailed about 20 days the last 2 years.
That day.
Right,
the day in Saratoga, you ran the last race. I mean, the day Tyler rode him, when he was second, the second time Tyler rode him, he was chicken dinner, and Bank Gala just held him off like that was the end for me. That was the end for me.
No, I agree.
So this was coming into town.
I
This was from the rail off the two sprints. Trevor's just got to put this horse on the lead today.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I think Trevor's done fine with the opportunities he's had.
Me too.
I was tempted to put my horse Brickyard second. I'm hoping that Romero's more aggressive with him and gets him the game. But I got to admit, it's time for me to maybe own up the fact that maybe I just have a bad opinion on this horse. I still have to use him because I'd hate to have him win. I don't know where else to go in here.
I went to Moonshine Maker for second. Blinkers go on. The horse got 2 wet tracks.
Kelly Breed.
But look at.
No, you're right. No. That's very fair.
And I know you don't.
I'm teasing.
I know you don't use the short numbers. The short numbers last year they were 5 for 11 first-time Blinkers. So again, we've talked about this a lot too.
No, this horse can win.
Yeah, this horse can win.
No, I don't disagree.
His fast track race back in October. He puts him right in the game.
I probably should have had him ahead of Brunate. I probably should have gone 184 here because you're 100% right about him. He could definitely win. I don't think the track was that wet. The problem I had with him was I don't think the track was that wet last time. I know it was a speed track, but he was atrocious last time. That was my problem with him. He was so bad last time.
You know what also gave me a little bit more confidence after the fact.
Dude, he was bad.
I know. That horse that won the first yesterday. Misty Hart, he was bad on a wet track too and came back.
Well, let's talk yesterday's race. Horses didn't show up.
What's going on? What about this? Does he really have a lot of horses to beat? Does Moonshine Maker have to beat?
No, I agree, but he was.
Jacques to beat these horses?
Compared to the race that the winner of yesterday's race ran last time. This horse was
atrocious.
This horse was so bad. That's what worries me.
But they went fast last time. That was step to the bank, just going out there and blasting off on them too. So. I can't imagine they're going to go that fast today. I would hope he's not going to get that lost in the shuffle today. And again, it was 2 wet tracks where his races were much worse than his races on the fast tracks.
Race number 4. No, that was my problem with him. That's all.
I don't disagree. He was terrible last time.
Race number 4, as Agreeing Horses continues. I don't know. We'll take a look at Blitzen Lay's last race. I know she was able to control last time and probably has to let the 2 Buyer's Remorse go here, but who am I supposed to take unless Bonus Baby, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine they're going to hit, right? Buyer's Remorse. How about Buyer's Remorse off the 4-length win out of town gets the blinkers? How much faster is she going to go? I don't know how much faster she's going to go. You remember? I'm asking a loaded question here. You remember the time when you couldn't make an equipment change off of a win? There were times when they weren't able to do anything.
I'm sure you're right. I just don't.
Oh yeah, if the horse won, you were not able to make an equipment.
Let me ask you a question. Is there any chance this horse wore blinkers last time? It's just not in the page. It's not in the listed.
I guess could have happened. Could have happened.
It's funny. It's a very funny text.
But I mean, yeah, where else are you? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, listen. Well, I guess your feeling is, why did Jorge Abreu drop this horse last time, and are we supposed to be concerned? But he's claimed by a guy who's very good and terrific off the claim.
And they not only win, but even the horses that don't win, they all seem to run well.
Yeah, I mean, looking both ways, just feels like last time was the time, though not impossible. Bowden's Baby, my bet last time was the time, but I think Bowden's Baby may have a little bit of upside, because I'll say with Bowden's Baby, this horse had the potential to be okay. And, to be fair in his last race, though, and ICASH, he wasn't going to lose, but other horses were eliminated at the break in that race.
Yes, and I think the other issue with her is she was able to just set up camp on a very on a slow
I agree.
pace.
She had
and
everything.
Now she's not going to.
Speed was good.
She's going to have to make up ground today.
Right, she's in a different situation.
She's gonna
I
have to
wondered
make
if
up
she had a
ground
little upside, but I'm not.
I don't disagree.
I'm not. I'd love to make a case against the favorite. I don't have one.
I'm hoping the blinkers helped look both ways last time, kind of put it all together. I know she didn't run that much faster. In fact, she ran, but she kind of looked a little bit better. She finished the job last time. Buyer's remorse in here is going to put a little pace on. Can't imagine Blitzen Lady is going to be too far off of it. So if maybe she could pick up some pieces.
A little pace? Very little.
Favorites.
No, I hear you. I don't think the one's impossible either.
The problem is, though, Andy, we sit up here, and we've done it a few times the last couple of weeks, and said, it looks like she's too good to be true. More often than not, they're getting beat. They're not winning.
A lot of them are getting beat. I don't disagree. That horse the other day, that favorite that looked like couldn't got left again, horses getting left. I'm not sure. The only knock on Blitzen Lady is the drop last time. But I really think the connections were dropping, because what are you supposed to do with the horse? You don't feel they're going to win a non-winners of one? We'll see. All right, take a quick break. Be back with the late pick 4.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. He's the Big A. I'm not. Andy Serling. Once again, remind people, America's Day at the Races today from 1 to 6, I believe, 1 to just 4:56, 1 to 4:56 on Fox Sports 2.
Okay.
Covering Oakland opening day, but of course action here, Tampa, I think some late races at Fairgrounds as well. I'll be on with Lafitte to start. Maggie will be here all day. Also, Richie's here, Richie and Greg Wolf later, and Jonathan Kinch will be joining us mid-show too as well from somewhere in the heart of Texas.
So I might be the Big A. But you know what I heard?
What?
I heard they call you the Big S.
This is the Ray Handle horse you picked. We'll take a look at the Big S at Churchill 2 back. I got to tell you something. I know he was steadied back to last in his last race here, and this is 2 back, and if he runs this race, he should be 2 to 5 to win this race. There's no doubt about it. Aren't you a little worried he was as bad as he was last time and Ray's dropping him in for a quarter? Ray is literally saying, please take this guy off.
Guys, I have no idea what race this is.
Yeah, this is not the race, but no, this is not the race. This is, I have no idea what this race. I'm going to guess this is 11:22.
Dial me up, it was.
Oh, that was Dial Me Up. Do you have the Big S race?
Anyone?
Okay,
right.
No worries.
Well,
anyway, if you don't have it, don't have it.
If Steve's on it, then
Francisco, if Steve's on it,
we'll have it for the night.
We'll have it for tomorrow's Talking Horses.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, look.
It's a good job, by the way, noticing that wasn't Churchill Downs. I want to commend you for paying attention. Here's the Big S
Churchill
Downs. This is the Twin Spires of Churchill Downs. Anthony, how worried are you about the drop?
Big time.
I mean,
big worry.
I couldn't pick him on top.
Big worry.
I couldn't.
You're a brave man, Mr. Serling. I had nowhere else to go here.
Well, let me ask you another question. Don't you think that Victory Built could go in this race? He's got to go from the inside. Isn't Bulwark going outside? So I'm also worried this horse is going to get pressure in here, too.
Isn't he faster on his day?
No,
isn't he
he's
faster?
not.
You don't think so?
No,
I think
not
he's
at
faster.
Bulwark. If Bulwark
maybe.
wants to go, Bulwark's very fast, Anthony.
Maybe.
I'm not saying he won't be in front, but
He's
there are
gotta
other
go.
potential speeds. And
Yeah, you might be right.
listen, He's an hour the horse to beat. I just don't like this drop. So who are the options?
You know,
now,
when you can't, the way I looked at this was I didn't feel like I could trust the others, and I know I'm taking the bad end of it on the board. I just got to put my faith in him.
well,
today.
I feel that one of us needs to pick the Kelly Breen horse because, to be honest, Anthony, you've kind of abandoned your friends at the Kelly Breen barn. But the good news is I'm here, okay? I'm here to pick up the slack.
Guy, man.
And
What a
this horse
story.
was post
What a story.
with
Tell us,
post
guy.
13 last time. This horse did not run that badly.
No, he did
The
not.
super wide trip, 4 or 5 wide around the track. You know, drifted out. I'm not saying this was speed was good. Double shot. You know, the double shot in this race came back and improved his buyer figure 13 points. And this may be a day where I don't know that it helped speed as much as it hindered closers. And that argument, that's what I said, because the figures of the horses that wired were not bias helped. They
Explain that
better.
a little.
In other words,
We have a little time. I think you should explain that a little bit because I think people think it's black and white. It's either a speed racetrack or it's a closers racetrack, and that's not the case.
It's trying to figure out what's going on. It's like I think that day last week when there was that extreme heavy west wind may have helped speed a great deal. But I don't know that it helps speed as much as hinder closes because if you have a strong bias, you have a big inside bias, right? A big inside speed bias. Horses that win will have exaggerated speed figures. And we'll talk about this. They'll get 88, and the horse is really a 75 type buyer.
Right.
You'll see it. You've all seen this, right? So when I was looking at the results from that day, and it was clear that speed dominated throughout the day, I looked at the buyer speed figures, and none of them were
Nothing jumped off the
nothing
page.
moved up that much. And so I was thinking, well, the speed horses I don't know how you can argue. And I thought maybe the closers were hurt by it, which gives the illusion maybe it was a wind. I don't know the reasons for these things. And then you see a horse like Double Shot who came from dead last.
Dead last.
And it's not like the race collapsed, and he comes back and runs 13 points faster. Now, maybe he's improving, but he's had a lot of races, and he's running mid-60 buyers in him, and suddenly he runs an 80. Maybe he's improved. So not that Four of Swords was coming from that far back, but maybe he was a bit hindered by that, and maybe that sort of helped Montauk Daddy's advantage. And I don't know where else to go. I mean, I actually think that Mr. Phil, who's dropping significantly out of the same race that Big S was in, and I actually think Mr. Phil ran well enough to get a piece here. So I'm going to use 4, 5, 6. I know the 6 is the worst to beat, but I want to use the other 2.
Okay.
I don't really like victory build, Anth.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at it this way. Didn't Four of Swords run better than him last time? And he's going to be a bigger price?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Victory Bill was inside, he was wide.
You've built a good enough argument for that Four of Swords ran better than he did.
I'm not in love with Four of Swords. I don't know where else to go.
What about Big Boy Mo? Big Boy Mo had a little bit of a had a little bit of a run when summer turned to fall this year, and then he got that Saratoga Pal race. And then last time Money Rides turned out to be okay. He gets 2 months. He gets a little bit of a break. Now I probably should have put him second.
I think I have him 5th in here. I considered him a great deal. I bet him that day he lost by a nose. That was a nice beat. It was a weak, but it was a weak 16 numbers to 2. That was. I know the figure was good, and if he runs that figure, he can absolutely win this race. And I don't disagree with you. I'm not going to be shocked when he runs well here. I feel like this is a better race.
And I know the race behind Bears Mafia and Ricken looks like one of those races on paper where he had to be third. Somebody had to be third. But I thought he ran okay that day. On the big jump in class. I thought he ran really well that day.
I don't disagree at all. I think if he refines that form, he is absolutely a player.
And again, he's another horse. September 19th, October 8th, October 22nd. He ran a lot. They gave him the month last time, and then they gave him a nice little break. Now he's got a 2 month. He gets a little blow away from the races, and now he comes back. Pat Quick does a really good job. Don't know the numbers don't say, but Pat's a very good trainer. Pat does a really good job. This is the kind of race where
does Pat do a really good job?
Does a great job.
Does he really? It's a reasonable point. I don't like him off his last, but I think you make some reasonable case for him. I don't think he's impossible at all. I'll put it this way. I like him more than I like the 2. I don't like the 2 in here.
Yeah, I probably should have made it 4. I probably should have made it 6, 7.
So race number 6, reaching so deep, we'll take a look at Imperio D running second last time.
This is impressive that you have a video for this race. You're the best.
I mean, I don't know. See, I don't like the horse you like, and we'll talk about him in a second. I understand you're trying to beat the 2 favorites, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And believe me, I considered your horse.
That's all it was.
We'll get to him. I just think either Imperio D at his 15th start or Lord Camden are going to win. And I don't love Lord Camden, but I think he's the right horse coming off a layoff. I just expect one of those two.
Chris Englehart's done pretty well, too, with some of these Cassie horses. He got Violent Point to win 2 in a row.
Yeah.
You know, he's done well with them. And Lord Camden is clearly the horse. I think Lord Camden's the horse to beat. Imperio D.
6-5 in the morning line.
You steer at 0 for 14 with Imperio D. You know, you start to wonder if he's ever going to find a bunch. Look, Ladies Boy, my man Eddie Barker's liked this horse. He didn't run well in the slop.
Good opinion, Eddie.
Came back, the fast track race. I mean, it is what it is. And then he came back and caught another wet track. So I'm just hoping.
Let me say 2 things. That track wasn't really that wet. That track should have been labeled good much earlier.
Okay, but there's still some water in it. Yeah, that was a step to the bank. That was the race from earlier.
Do me a favor. Please don't watch the replay of his last race before you bet this horse. I know he's a big price. He was awful.
He was awful.
No,
I know.
No, he had, I'm going to tell you something, Pablo gave this horse a great
Now, this is a
ride
replay
last
I actually watched because I called these races and I watch all of them back.
This
one I actually
this
watched.
horse was atrocious.
He was terrible.
He broke a step slow, but he got a great ride from that. He split horses in the stretch, and he couldn't even outfinish bad horses that were involved in the pace.
I have no
brutal
argument.
last time.
I have no argument other than the fact that
And his first fast track race was terrible, too.
I didn't want to pick Imperio D. And Lord Camden, regardless of how, you know, Lord Camden's been gone 6 months, and he's in the bottom.
No, I hear you.
I wanted to take one shot with the horse that had a little recency, and the one fast track race. If he can improve on that, I thought it might be.
I'm going to give you my goofy horse, Second Fortune. Gets Chris DiCarlo a significant rider upgrade, and I always look at these Dunham horses because sometimes they seem to show up. I bet this horse outruns us 50 to 1.
Okay.
And I bet $10 to win on him. Behind an Exactus and Tries with the favorites. He's my ludicrous horse for the day to get at least a small piece. Race number 7, I mean, it's kind of a 2-horse race on paper, and one of the 2 targeted returns scratched. And I don't know about you, I picked the 7 timed out on top anyway. We'll take a look at timed out at Monmouth last time out. Anthony, if this horse runs the race he just ran at Monmouth and he was claimed out of it.
Oh,
guys, this is a Churchill race. Target return scratched.
She was very game that day, though. She came back and she held them all off.
I made a very big bet on her, actually. I was at my mom's.
I bet it, too.
Anyhow, we'll catch time out, hopefully, in a moment. Winning easily at Monmouth, claimed by Jimmy Riccio. Was actually claimed by Jimmy Riccio with Scott Volk. I was wondering who claimed because I don't think Rudy's.
Wow,
claimed.
there's a blast from the past. Scott Volk. I haven't heard that name in ages.
I know. I saw that in there, and I don't know. Claiming Jimmy Riccio. I mean,
how about this race? What would this race do?
Yeah, we'll
absolutely. Imagine if they could bottle this race for this field today.
I mean, it'll be a
run by 40
blowout. Absolute blowout.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only concern is the distance. The horse was okay at a mile on the turf, and turf's different. But I don't know why distance is supposed to be a concern for a son of flat out. I'm going to use a little 8. Those Mark Hennig's horses are really running.
Yes, they are.
And I always tried a mile last time, cuts back. I'm going to use a little 8 as a saver. I can't come with anybody else. You've got the 1. The 1.
Who I hated last time, but let me ask you this question. How far in front is she supposed to be?
Yeah, no, you make a good point with the 2 coming out.
She's got to be gone. That's the only thing. This is the kind of race.
Go ahead.
This is the kind of race where I think the only thing I worry about with Rudy's filly is somebody getting loose on her. I don't think
she's going to have more speed for Rudy.
She's supposed to, but what I'm saying is I still worry about this filly just getting loose on a lead and just scooting away from her.
7 furlongs.
Listen.
That field she beat.
It was a bit. I know.
It really was.
I know.
Abysmal.
It was abysmal.
It really
but
was.
I'm just. the fact of the matter is,
today's word.
She's going abysmal. Yeah, she's going to be in front of these horses, and you see these starter optional claimers. We've seen worse horses than take it off. Keep going, and I'm not going to let her be. And you know what? Unless the money comes in because she looks like she's speed, she's going to be a decent enough price. I don't think she'll be second choice in here, right? They'll bet, like you said, Hennig's horses are running. They'll probably bet some money on Miss Comedian, who's never been off the board.
Timeout's going to be 2 to 5.
Yeah.
Literally, 2 to 5.
Literally 2 to 5.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is
probably a slightly lower price than Caddo River.
Caddo River. No 5 to 2 on Caddo River? Can we get a part? Can we? Well, this is the wouldn't be now. This is with the favorite out. How much can we get on Cattle River? How much can we trade Cattle River at 7-5? We could make $1 million just offering 7-5 if we can buy the 5-2. Can we buy the 5-2?
I woke up at like 4:30.
I want to buy the 5. By the way, I want to buy the
bed.
5-2 on Nick Sco on the Pegasus. Where can I buy that? What's he going to be tomorrow? 6-5?
It's not going to be 5-2. I don't trust him. Trust him to get the mile and eighth?
I think he's a cinch.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I like the horse in the rail.
Although Steve Dudenoff, who's on the NHC tour, a good friend of ours, good handicapper, he brought up a good point last night about the Lasix. Horse like him is a horse like him possibly affected by the Lasix, by no Lasix in those races.
Interesting. I like the rail horse, Sleepy Eyes Todd, a little bit as an
Okay.
upsetter. I'm not.
He does everything. I mean, he goes short,
Yeah.
he goes long, he runs at he won the bull ring 3 turns.
He's
he
a
won
cool
2
horse.
He's a cool horse,
Yeah.
and he does more travel.
He draws well.
With all of the shutdowns last year, he may have the most frequent flyer miles of anybody in America. I mean, he was everywhere last year.
And he did pretty well.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
Yeah. Grade Stakes wins at Gulfstream, Keeneland, Charlestown Classic.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think the grades at Keeneland was that a grade?
No, that wasn't the Perryville. That was the Nashville
It
race.
starts with an L. Lafayette.
Lafayette, very good.
Wasn't that a 3-year-old race
I
in the
thought it
past?
used to be a 3. That was a race. You know who won that?
Yeah, I know.
Big bet.
Commentator.
And Nick won it with. Was Nick Euro Silver?
Yeah.
Nick won it with Euro. I bet that race in the
The Rock Remote, right?
Bet that race in the New York City OTB. He was like 9-2. I made a really good bet on him, and he
a nice
just
horse.
aired.
It's a gray,
He
wasn't
won
he?
by like 8.
It's a
Yeah.
gray, yeah.
He won by
Rock
daylight.
Remote had a lot of grays, didn't they?
Yeah.
Race number 8.
The finale.
Open lengths. Looks like he may win by open lengths. We'll take a look at him winning by open lengths, 2 back. I hate to land on these favorites, and I realize, and there he is, and coming out of the fog.
Easy to see. As an announcer, you love these silks, by the way.
I thought he should have been favored last time. I was shocked he wasn't favored. I picked
Well,
the
we
third
talked about
horse
this
at
last
price,
time, yeah.
and I said in the air, I thought that he's supposed to be 6-5 in here. Anthony, I know you're trying Ally Invasion. We'll get to him, and I've got him second. Isn't he just better than these horses?
Yes. I took one little shot with Allied Invasion.
What happened to him last time?
I don't know. I don't know, but
He
I'm
was
gonna.
atrocious.
I don't know, and I'll tell you what. I didn't have a morning line printed these on when they drove.
Well, isn't he second choice by default?
Yeah, he's
the
second
two?
choice by default. Yeah.
I mean, I picked him second, and the problem I have is, I think these horses that come off terrible efforts are just bad bets. But on the other hand, he's the only horse that can beat the 7 if he runs back to his first race in the dirt.
Listen, I'm not betting anybody in this race to win.
No?
But I'm using the 2.
Nothing on Glenn Likes Gin?
I'm using the 2 and 7.
Who's Glenn, and what kind of gin is he?
I believe this was Glenn DeSanto.
Oh,
Glenn
cool.
DeSanto. I'm not 100% sure.
That's cool.
Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure this was Glenn DeSanto.
Nice. The late Glenn DeSanto.
Great Glenn DeSanto. Glenn was a good dude.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I did not know him, but I've
Glenn
heard
was a
many
good
good
man. Treated
things
his
about
horses well, treated his family well. Glenn was a good guy.
him. Passed away about 1.5 years ago. Does that sound right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. I think this is named after Glenn. I'm not 100% sure though.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where else. I don't know where else you want to go.
I don't know where else. Well, I guess here's one for you.
Yeah.
We both got him fourth. There's been a little note of magic.
I thought about it.
Sprinkles of note of magic.
I thought about it.
But this horse has to get 1 1/8 miles.
There was a little more. If there was a little more consistency the last
has to
couple of
get
racing
1
days.
1/8 miles.
I know.
God bless him if he gets it. Anyhow, we're done.
Weekend Stakes preview tonight, presented by Naira Bets, 6 o'clock. So as soon as America's Day of the Races goes off the air, stay on because you're going to be watching the internet on YouTube. Stay on your laptop, horseracingradio.net, or if you're in your car, Sirius 219 XM201. Bobby Newman and I have 13, including the Jazzle and the Busanda.
What do you like in the Jazzle? Don't give it away. We want people to tune in. We'll be talking about it
Exactly.
tomorrow. You will be heading over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time than the present. Use the promo code MATCH200 at NairaBets.com. We'll match them to $200 your initial deposit. Become a member of Naira Bets. Support racing. Keep the money in the game. Support racing in New York. America's Day at the Races, 1 to 6, 1 to 4:56 on FS2. Be heading up there shortly. I'll be in here to do Prattles, though, for the 1st, the 7th, and the 8th. You and you have a wonderful day. Johnny I will be up shortly with a reprise of Scratches and Changes.